What I want to do is take you guys on my journey of cabinet scrapers, how to sharpen them, and I think it's an interesting one to see where we've come from, how it was done in the past, how I was taught. I'm not saying this is the right way, I'm not saying it's the only way, I'm not saying it's the definitive way, but in amongst this there's going to be 3 or 4 different ways of showing you. There are other different ways of sharpening. You don't have to spend a lot of money on gadgets and things. Let me show you how. I was taught by a pattern maker, ex-pattern maker, Barry Smith, Halesowen, a good guy. New ways of doing it. That's probably where I've got a lot of my stuff from. New ways of solving problems from a pattern maker's point of view, but also from other industries that he'd worked in. And that's where I've got my sort of rounded education. Let's kick off with scrapers themselves. We can get all sorts of scrapers. This is really useful. Get yourself a scrap of wood. This was firewood. It's rubbish, but you know something, to put your scrapers in, to keep them sharp side up so that you know what's going on. I've got another one over there in amongst my planes, and that's got a lot more slots in it. I've just got the 3 in this. Right, the other thing that I would recommend to anybody is round them off. Round the corners off on the edge you're not going to use. Nowadays I would say don't bother sharpening every edge, because in the past we used to sharpen these 2 edges, then we used to sharpen those 2 edges, and you'd pick it up and you didn't know which one was good and which one was bad. It's just like, no, stop it. Get yourself another couple. And some of them, I don't know whether you can just see that. Can you just see that? See, it says Spear and Jackson. See the imprint in there. Some of these are that's like Spear and Jackson scraper, which is good. One of them here, that one, is actually from a tenon saw. I made that from a tenon saw. You can see where the brass back was. So great steel. The tenon saw was ruined. The back was ruined. You know, if you can, cut up an old tenon saw. If the blade's good, but there's something wrong with it. If the saw's complete, if the handles really had it, or the brass back is ruined or bent or curved, they make brilliant scrapers. So first bit of advice, round the corners off. It makes it a lot easier. This has been used as a scratch stock. I do that as well. Right, let me show you what Barry taught me. Take your stone, and in those days it was an oil stone, so that's what I'm showing you. And to sharpen it, I would use nothing more than, actually I would, there's one more thing. 2 more things, files. And in fact, it was probably this one. I've had this one for that 30 something years. So let me show you the process. I'll put you in the stand and I'll show you what I used to do. Right, what Barry used to say first, so we'll do it with this one. This is the one with the scratch stock corner. We'll do it with that one. So Barry would say, get it in a vise, run your file over it, which I would like that. In fact, this is a better file. Right, then he'd say, grab your stone, push it up and down your stone a couple of times to polish that edge. Then we'd put it on the side of on the edge of the bench like that, and typically he would say use a screwdriver or a gouge, and this gouge I've had for years, but basically what you do is you hold it firmly, run the screwdriver. Now what it is this is hardened, and because it's hardened, this is harder than that. This will bend the steel over slightly, and can you see that all right? You can a bit. Let me zoom it in for you. Anyhow, off the edges like that, turn it over, same on this side. So you and you're just at a slight angle. You're not dead flat. You're just lifting it down a little bit. And then you'd say, put it in the vice. Let's move you again. How's that? Hold your screwdriver. Actually, I'll do it with the rest of it with a chisel. The reason I'm going to do that is because on this screwdriver there is some writing, and I don't want any of that to destroy what I'm doing. So I'm going to use the back of this, and as you can see, there are lines across the back of this showing where I've used it before. So what we'll do then is just put it on there and just raise it up a couple of degrees, and then down a couple of degrees for this side nearer me, up a couple of degrees for the other side, and that will be it. Let's try it. Nice bit of view. And let's centre you up so you can see. Actually, you can see pretty good. So this is uneven, and can you see the shavings? That was it. Now this really is uneven. You tell me that's no good. It does the job. So for years, let me just turn it round as well. Not so good this side, so I'll probably not. Oh, there you go. Let me move that so you can see the shavings coming in there. Are you happy that that works? I'm happy that works. So that's method number one, and that one is going to go back in there. Job done. And that was good enough. It was good enough. It would get rid of any issues on the timber, which was great. They'd sometimes get sanded or whatever, then they'd have finish, and the finish coat would get sanded between coats. That was great. In the next part, I'm going to show you burnishing with a burnisher and the latest thing in part 3. Part 2 coming soon.